Thanks for staying with us. Now, today marks Blue Monday, which is typically regarded as the most depressing day of the year. But is there any science or truth behind the claim?
Well, here to dispel some Blue Monday myths is counsellor and psychotherapist Michael Ryan. Good morning to you, Michael.
Morning.
Great to have you with us. First of all, I suppose, give us an explanation, Blue Monday. Where has this whole Blue Monday, the saddest day of the year, come from?
Created to sell more holidays.
It was,
yeah.
you're right. In 2005, some travel agent over in England asked this psychologist, Cliff Arnall, to come up with a formula. And in fact, he had a formula. It was like X minus Y
so
over...
a travel agent actually did?
Yes.
Yeah.
To come up with a reason to buy more holidays.
That was it. They wanted to sell more holidays. So his his equation was that the third Monday of January, we're typically, as we were saying earlier, our resolutions have kind of fallen by the wayside.
Yeah.
We're still carrying a bit of weight from the festive season. The time from Christmas is gone. We're kind of, the memories of that magical stuff has faded. The kids are probably up to their old tricks again. And our debts are starting to, our credit card bills are coming in. The effects of our overspending is starting to take effect. So coupled with that, we have a need to take action, but the weather is kind of affecting us. It's a bit darker, it's a bit greyer, it's a bit gloomier, and so we're kind of don't have the motivation to get ourselves out of that stuff. So that's kind of his formula.
And it was the fact then, so look ahead, plan a holiday, do something.
That's what the whole thing was about.
But when you're saying that is something that maybe, because a lot of people do find January a hard month to get through. So would your thing then to be, do look at that, maybe don't book a holiday, but look forward to maybe saying it's only a couple of weeks and better times will come.
Yeah, and look, there is an actual thing called SAD, the seasonal affective disorder,
which
does affect some people.
And is serious.
And is serious. And if that is something where your functioning is impaired by just the blueness of January or something, I would suggest you go to your GP. It might need a small intervention of some sort. But for most of it, it's just about maybe choices. So if you take even this morning, so it's kind of frosty out there this morning, so we come out, we have to defrost the car, and be honest, like I'm sure you come out this morning, you're like, oh God, we're going to be delayed and get the kettle out. So you have a choice at that point. You can say, oh God, I have to do this thing, and you can allow a kind of an arbitrary event to affect your mood. Mm-hmm. Or you can say, okay, because at the end of the event, you're going to have a defrosted car anyway. So you can either have a defrosted car and be in good mood, or a defrosted car and go, oh God, I have to do that thing. So you can choose about whether you buy into the whole thing or not. Mm. And if you find yourself kind of in the just my luck kind of brigade, you're in victim mode, If you find yourself saying those things.
Is that a bit of an Irish thing? Like, do us as Irish, do we have a bit of a victim, a bit of a...
There's a bit of a default, Tommy, in Ireland to the negative. But it's kind of a human evolutionary thing. If we look out for the negative, it's kind of about keeping us safe,
keeping us alive. We talk about the weather all the time. It's always about the weather.
It's too warm, miserable. And then it's too warm. Yeah.
But it doesn't change much from year to year. Like, you imagine an Inuit came out of his igloo every day and he goes, ooh, it's freezing. Like, it just wouldn't make sense, So you'd adapt, and it rains here. So
we know it rains, and we know it's going to be cold in the winter.
We need to learn to dance in the rain, and not allow the arbitrary effects of nature and situations to impact our mood. We can keep your agency, I think we usually say these days. Yeah.
So how can we do that? Because obviously there is that SAD syndrome, so it's season affective disorder.
Yeah.
So things like a lack of vitamin D, a lack of sunlight. I know we actually got one of those lights that you
the light
can get,
box,
and just in the morning blasted into your, you just have it in front of you, you're getting changed for 10 minutes.
It replicates sunlight,
and it kind of can just up your mood. So is there any things that people out there can do actually if they're feeling it's the January blues, it's this Monday, that they can actually, do you know what, I need to try and turn this around?
Yeah, so, I know you get lots of people on here with the kind of Tai Chi and Chai Tea and all of that. And people are probably going, here's another guy.
We've done it all.
But look, as you said, the vitamin D, get out into the sunshine. Whatever bit of sun or bit of light we have today, it is dry, so at least we can go out and get a walk in. Get some of that light in, some of that natural light, fresh air in our lungs. And if you can't do that, do a bit of movement at home. You can download any stuff on YouTube about yoga or Pilates. And if you've never tried it, the cat-cow and the cobra pose, and I'm not an athlete, as you can imagine.
Would that up your mood?
It does up your mood, because the movement gives you the kind of happy endorphins like the oxytocin and the serotonin and the dopamine, and just those positive chemicals that we secrete. So movement brings those on, yeah.
But for people to say, it's not Blue Monday. It's all in our mind.
Exactly. Writing out stuff, like writing
a journal,
grateful for stuff. Journaling, writing out things that you're grateful for, writing out lists of things. Now, just coming up with them in your head is okay, but actually writing them, your eyes take back in the information, your subconscious reprocesses them. So actually getting them out and getting them back in is actually very good.
And if you wrote that down and did something positive now and kept that journal, if you were feeling that way next January and you looked at that journal and went, I was feeling like this, but I actually got through it. Exactly. It was grand. The next day I did something, and then that, and so you actually see what you've done.
Yep.
And even getting in touch with somebody. I think connection is a very important thing. You know, organise to meet them for a coffee. You know, something like that going out.
And if you can't actually meet them, send a text to someone that you know will lift their spirit.
Yes.
And send a text to someone that you know will lift your spirit. So you're giving...
And then you're feeling better for doing that as well.
Exactly.
But it's all a myth. There is there's no such thing.
Don't buy into it.
Don't buy into it. There's no such thing as Blue Monday, except for people that maybe have some disorder.
Exactly.
But then you should go and get help for that as well.
So how about you, lads? I'm feeling a bit blue this morning. But anyway,
grand.
Michael Ryan, psychotherapist, counsellor, thank you so much for joining us to talk. Let us know what you think with that. You know, is it that stage of the year where you're just feeling a little bit down the dumps, or is it all just a myth? We'd love to hear from you. 0896 111 111.
Now,